Hello and welcome to our time together. I am Lyra, and it is a genuine joy to share this quiet space with you today. Work is a place where we spend a huge portion of our lives. We talk to colleagues and managers and clients every single day. Sometimes those conversations flow effortlessly. Other times, finding the exact right words can feel heavy. You want to sound professional, but also warm and approachable. You want to be clear without sounding too sharp. We are going to explore the natural language that makes a workplace feel human and connected. Imagine returning to your desk after a long holiday. The inbox is full and projects have moved forward without you. You need to understand what happened while you were away. You are getting up to speed. It means taking the time to learn the newest information. You might tell your manager that you will spend the morning getting up to speed on the new client accounts. The phrase gives you space to learn. It tells people you are in the process of catching up. You use this at home too. If a friend tells you about a dramatic event in their neighborhood, you might ask them to get you up to speed on all the details. It is a gentle way of asking for the full story. Saying you are getting up to speed sounds much more active than simply saying you do not know what is happening. Once you are back into your routine, you often need to communicate quickly with your team. You do not need a long formal meeting. You just need a brief conversation to make sure everything is okay. You are touching base. A manager might stop by your desk just to touch base about your current tasks. It implies a light and quick interaction. Saying you want to have a meeting sounds serious. Saying you want to touch base sounds friendly and easy. People use this with friends and family all the time. You might call your mother on a Sunday evening just to touch base before the week begins. It shows you care without demanding an hour of her time. It is a perfect way to maintain relationships without adding stress. Because communication is an ongoing process, a quick chat often leads to larger discussions. When a project is moving fast, everyone needs to know the latest updates. You are keeping someone in the loop. The loop is the circle of shared information. If you find a problem with a software design, you promise to keep the engineering team in the loop as you fix it. It reassures people that they will not be left in the dark. It feels very collaborative. A husband might ask his wife to keep him in the loop about a doctor appointment. He wants to hear the news as soon as she knows it. If someone complains that they were not kept in the loop, they feel excluded. It is a phrase built around inclusion and trust. Sometimes the information you share in that loop is a warning. You want someone to be prepared for something that is about to happen. You are giving a heads up. It is an informal way to alert someone. You might send a quick message to your team giving them a heads up that the internet might be slow this afternoon. It is polite and helpful. It prevents surprises. A neighbor might give you a heads up that they are having a noisy party on Friday night. The phrase implies looking up and paying attention to what is coming. It sounds much friendlier than issuing a formal warning. It frames the message as a helpful favor rather than a serious alert. Being prepared often means brainstorming before a big decision. Before you finalize a plan, you usually need to talk about it. You have thoughts, but they are not perfect yet. You want to hear another perspective. You are bouncing ideas off someone. Imagine a tennis ball hitting a wall and coming right back to you. That is how the conversation flows. You share a thought, and your colleague shares one back. You might ask a trusted coworker if you can bounce some ideas off them regarding the new marketing strategy. It takes the pressure off. It means the ideas do not have to be perfect. Couples do this constantly. You might bounce ideas off your partner about where to go for your next vacation. It is a shared exploration of possibilities. After you bounce those early thoughts around, you have to build them into something real. A basic concept needs details and structure. You are fleshing out an idea. Think of adding substance to a bare skeleton. During a meeting, your team might agree on a general theme for a presentation. The next step is fleshing out the slides with actual data and stories. It means doing the hard work of adding necessary details. You might hear someone say an idea is good but needs to be fleshed out a bit more. When planning a wedding, choosing the venue is the big decision. Then you spend months fleshing out the catering and the music and the decorations. Working on these ideas takes time, and workdays rarely go exactly as planned. Sometimes a single task takes over your entire morning. You become completely occupied. You are tied up with something. It creates a vivid picture of being unable to move away from your current work. If someone asks for your help, you might explain that you are tied up with a budget report until noon. It is a very polite way to say you are entirely unavailable. It sounds much softer than bluntly saying you are too busy. You use this in your personal life too. You might text a friend to say you are tied up with household chores and cannot meet for coffee. It asks for understanding without sounding dismissive. Sometimes it is not just one task holding you back. Sometimes it is the sheer volume of responsibilities. You are looking at everything you have to do. You are having a lot on your plate. Imagine a dinner plate piled high with food so full that nothing else can fit. If your manager tries to assign you a new client, you might explain that you already have a lot on your plate this week. It is a diplomatic way of protecting your boundaries. It avoids saying you refuse to do the work. It simply states a fact about your current capacity. A mother of 3 young children always has a lot on her plate. It perfectly captures the feeling of being overwhelmed by obligations. When you have that much on your plate, time tends to slip away. You might look at the clock and realize you are late, you are running behind schedule. It is a graceful way to admit you are delayed. Telling a client you are running behind schedule sounds professional and objective. It sounds like the schedule itself is moving faster than you can run. If you just say you're late, it sounds like a personal failure. People use this phrasing to soften the impact of the delay. A train can be running behind schedule due to bad weather. A dinner party host might tell guests they are running behind schedule with the cooking. It asks for a little patience while you catch up to the clock. Because delays happen, plans have to change. A meeting scheduled for 2 in the afternoon might need to happen at 3 instead. You're pushing something back. It means moving an event to a later time or date. You might ask to push back a deadline because you need more time to gather information. It feels active and deliberate. You're not just letting the deadline pass, you're negotiating a new one. It works beautifully for social events too. If you feel unwell on a Saturday morning, you might ask a friend if you can push back your lunch date to the following weekend. It keeps the commitment alive while changing the timing. When a timeline gets pushed back, someone has to monitor the new schedule. You want to know if things are moving smoothly again? You are checking in on something. It is a gentle investigation. A manager might send an email checking in on the status of a delayed report. It feels much less aggressive than demanding an immediate answer. It implies care and attention. I notice this dynamic quite often. When I started SpeakFlow English, I found myself constantly checking in on small details to make sure everything felt completely natural for the listener. It is a way of staying connected to the work. You check in on people too. You might text a sick neighbor just checking in to see if they need any groceries. To check in on a person or a project, you have to initiate contact. You are taking the first step to communicate. You are reaching out to someone. This has become one of the most common phrases in the modern workplace. You might reach out to a new client to introduce yourself. You might reach out to an expert for advice. It sounds helpful and warm, like extending a hand across a distance. It has completely replaced older phrases like making contact with or initiating correspondence. It feels human. A person might reach out to an old college friend after years of silence. It is a beautiful way to describe the act of bridging a gap between two people. When you finally reach out and connect with that person, they might need some background information. They missed a crucial conversation and you need to provide the missing pieces. You are filling someone in. Imagine a drawing with missing colors and you are providing the paint. If a coworker arrives 15 minutes late to a strategy session, you might quietly fill them in on what the director just announced. It is the act of sharing specific missing knowledge. It happens at home over the dinner table constantly. A teenager might fill their parents in on the gossip from their school day. It is an act of storytelling that brings everyone to the exact same level of understanding. Once everyone is filled in and understands the situation, someone has to guide the group forward. Someone has to accept the responsibility of managing the task. You are taking the lead. It means stepping up to direct a project. Your manager might ask you to take the lead on organizing the annual conference. It implies trust in your abilities. It means you are the person others will look to for direction. A person taking the lead is the one making the final choices. In a family setting, one sibling usually takes the lead on planning their parents' anniversary party. They book the restaurant and send the invitations. They carry the weight of the project so others can just participate and enjoy the moment. Even with a strong leader, unexpected things happen. A crisis occurs or someone falls ill. Another person has to enter the situation and take over. You are stepping in. It is a powerful phrase of rescue and support. If the main speaker at an event loses their voice, a colleague might step in to deliver the presentation. It means crossing a line to offer immediate help. It shows teamwork and reliability. A grandparent might step in to watch the children when the usual babysitter cancels at the last minute. It implies that a gap opened up and someone generously moved forward to fill it. It is always seen as a positive and helpful action. With everyone supporting each other, a project moves toward completion. But before you finish, you often find small problems that need fixing. There are little wrinkles in the plan. You are ironing out the details. Imagine using a warm iron to press the wrinkles out of a piece of clothing until it is perfectly smooth. Two companies might agree to merge, but their lawyers will spend months ironing out the details of the contract. It refers to the fine, careful work of resolving minor issues. Couples planning a holiday might agree on the country they want to visit. Then they sit down with a map, ironing out the details of exactly which towns they will sleep in each night. Through all these discussions and adjustments, the ultimate goal is shared understanding. You want everyone to agree on the direction you're heading, you're being on the same page. It pictures two people reading from the exact same spot in a book before launching a new product. A manager wants to ensure the sales team and the marketing team are on the same page. It prevents confusion and arguments later. It is a fundamental phrase for human relationships. A married couple needs to be on the same page about how to manage their finances. If they are not, conflict is inevitable. It is a beautiful way to describe harmony and shared vision without sounding overly emotional or dramatic. Sometimes that perfect agreement does not happen immediately. A conversation gets stuck, or you lack the information needed to make a decision right now. You need to pause the topic and return to it later. You are circling back. It implies movement, stepping away from an issue, and returning from a different angle at a later time. During a tense negotiation, someone might suggest circling back to the budget after discussing the timeline. It relieves immediate pressure. It allows emotions to cool down. A mother might tell a child who is begging for a new toy that they will circle back to the conversation before their birthday. It is a promise to discuss the matter again when the timing is better. When you finally return to the topic and are ready to begin, the hardest part is taking the first step. You have to create momentum from a standstill. You are getting the ball rolling. Imagine a heavy ball resting on a hill. It takes a hard push to start it, but once it moves, gravity helps it along. You might suggest a quick meeting on a Monday morning just to get the ball rolling on a slow project. It focuses entirely on initiation. The phrase encourages action over perfection. Families use this when facing a huge task like moving to a new house. Someone has to pack the very first box just to get the ball rolling. It transforms a daunting task into a simple physical action. Creating all that momentum takes energy. After hours of working and communicating and pushing projects forward, your energy eventually runs out. The work might not be completely finished, but you have done all you can do for now. You are calling it a day. It is a gentle declaration that the workday is officially over. You might close your laptop, look at your colleague, and suggest calling it a day. It acknowledges that rest is now more important than continued effort. Sometimes, after recording a long session for SpeakFlow English, I just have to call it a day and rest my voice. People use it during weekend chores as well. After 5 hours of painting the living room walls, a couple will wash their brushes and call it a day. It brings a natural and satisfying close to a period of hard work. Every conversation is a bridge between two people. The words you choose decide how strong that bridge will be. These phrases do more than transmit information. They show respect for other people and their time. They show that you understand the shared rhythms of a workplace. They soften difficult news and make collaboration feel entirely natural. The more you use them, the more they will feel like your own. You will find your own voice within them. Thank you for sitting down and sharing this time with me. It has been a lovely conversation, and I hope you carry these words with confidence wherever your work takes you.